You know, when Metro Detroit was hit by that massive snowstorm on Super Bowl Sunday, there were some stunning pictures and videos.
I remember those, but none so stunning and shocking as that man walking down the middle of I-75 almost naked, except for perhaps that hat. Tonight, Joanne Purton has more about what may have caused his bizarre behavior.
Hey! Hey!
It was the video seen around the world, shot in Auburn Hills in the middle of that Super Bowl snowstorm.
We've got numerous calls from people driving by on the freeway.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Yeah, there is a man that's walking on the side of 75 south of exit 79 completely naked.
While drivers were stunned, police thought it sounded familiar.
We've seen these calls for many, many years, these naked man calls. I mean, if his body is overheated to the place that he walks down I-75 and naked in a snowstorm, you know that something tremendously bizarre is happening with him.
The instant diagnosis by cops, excited delirium syndrome, a condition involving psychotic behavior and the body functioning in overdrive. Oftentimes, a body overheats and the person gets overly aggressive. In many ways, Auburn Hills police were long prepared for the man on I-75.
We became aware that on a national level, there were a series of cases that became national stories. We became aware that perhaps this was a syndrome that was emerging.
Many cases involve someone who has an underlying mental illness, normally one that has been under control, but then the person gets involved with drugs or stops taking medication.
It's that combination, that perfect storm of mental illness and street drugs that causes a momentary excited delirium.
Dr. Joel Young is a psychiatrist at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. He says hospitals deal with the syndrome regularly, but when it happens in public, it's usually up to police to manage the situation peacefully.
It just shows how much skill it takes to be a good police officer. They're the first responders, and what they clearly don't want to do is escalate the situation.
If that happens, excited delirium syndrome can become deadly.
If you continue to fight for a prolonged period of time with individuals like this, unfortunately sometimes it can lead to tragic things like cardiac arrest and/or the person dying.
Dr. Young says this only happens in a small number of cases, but Auburn Hills police don't want to take any chances. They've trained officers to treat situations like this as a medical emergency rather than a criminal problem.
We're not paramedics. They have the tools, equipment, and the training to be able to take action right there. That's why we call them.
In the case of the naked man on I-75, Chief Oko insists that good training made the difference between life and death.
If we offer them the resources and train them in the right way, they want to do it. They don't want to cause somebody's death, and they saved this man's life, I'm convinced.
Chief Oko says the man is not facing any charges because this was a relatively minor offense, and the department's primary goal was getting him help. I'm Joanne Purton, 7 Action News.